Hi, Ilesh. We're here today to have a very quick overview of Periculum, the Cyber Essentials platform for the UK. Can you give a quick introduction of who you are and a little bit of the history of the platform?
Yeah, thanks, John. So I'm Ilesh. I'm CTO and founder of Ascentian. And yeah, back in 2019, so yeah, we're a cybersecurity lab headquartered here in the UK. And back in 2019, we were approached by Tokyo Marine and one of the leading insurance brokers in Brazil. Together, they were interested in launching a cyber insurance product in the Latin American market, specifically targeting small and medium-sized companies. But of course, they didn't really know how to go about understanding risk exposure for a segment of the market where there isn't a great deal of data or knowledge about the kind of risks they're exposed to, the levels of exposure, kind of liabilities that an underwriter would be taking on, etc. So we had a conversation with them and we started to develop a capability to understand risk, understand the kind of exposure that needed to be underwritten, etc.,
Okay.
so that they could more effectively develop a product to service that market. What we then realized during that project was that this wasn't just a limited opportunity. Cyber insurance was something that was increasingly becoming part of the kind of portfolio of solutions to mitigate risk when it came to cybersecurity.
Okay.
And so we started having conversations with insurance providers, insurance brokers, cybersecurity companies, etc., around the world, and found that yes, absolutely, most geographies believed that the market was likely to grow when it comes to cyber insurance, but also that
Have you
SMEs
actually?
pose the largest risk.
Yeah. Have you launched it anywhere else?
So we have a version working in Singapore now as well, and yeah, we're now looking to broaden that out to other geographies, so the UK, Ireland, because Ireland has a similar kind of initiative at the moment to Singapore. So yeah, we're looking to launch it across the UK and Ireland to start with, and then potentially broaden it out across Europe.
Okay. So give us a quick sort of outline of the platform and what's in there.
Yeah, so in essence, the platform, as I said, is a capability for small and medium-sized companies to understand exactly what their risk posture is. And then by gathering that information, we utilize certain algorithms that we've developed that are proprietary to us. We use those to quantify what the level of risk is, what the likelihood is of an attack in the next 12 months, what the potential losses in monetary terms could be to the company if some of the more high profile vulnerabilities that have been discovered were to be realized. Then what they can then do is they can use the platform in two ways. They can use it to demonstrate that they meet the requirements to get something like cyber insurance, for example, or they can use it to speak to a cybersecurity professional or a cybersecurity vendor to better equip themselves with the correct solutions that specifically help them directly with the vulnerabilities and risks that have been discovered by using the platform. And they can also use it to continuously monitor how they're doing. So, for example, they can come back to the platform, go through the assessment every 3 months, and they can then see exactly what improvements they're making as a result of the investments that they're making in solutions
So
and expertise.
for a consultancy that says is doing sort of cyber essentials for end user clients,
Yeah.
they could use a platform like this to go out and manage that client over the course of a year and give them more than just the value of achieving the certification, but a much broader view of what their risk is.
Absolutely. So one of the users in Singapore is a small consultancy. They operate in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and they're using it exactly for that reason. It allows them to engage better with their customers. Their customers can see exactly how they're doing with respect to their cybersecurity, and the consultant can support them more directly and in a more targeted way because they know exactly where to direct the support because a more evidence-based way of understanding exactly what the high risk areas of concern are, where the most likely impact is likely to accrue if something isn't done.
Anything else about why this sort of continuous risk assessment is important?
Yeah, primarily, well, lots of different reasons, but one of the reasons is, of course, that cybersecurity isn't isn't necessarily a static thing. What is secure today may not necessarily be secure tomorrow because new threats are constantly emerging. So again, by doing this assessment, by understanding exactly what threats your infrastructure, your organization, your supply chain has at regular intervals, the more regular the better, gives you a picture at that point in time as opposed to just once a year or something like that, or never, as is the case with most SMEs. Once you've gone through the cyber essentials and the critical scope assessments, the platform generates some metrics basically. So it gives you an overall cyber risk score. It tells you the kind of losses you may incur if one of those high profile inherent risks were to materialize. And that's in proportion of your current revenue and also the average financial impact. We also are able to give you an estimate of the likelihood of attack in the next 12 months. And then we provide some output based on the sector that you're in. So, for example, if you're a small company in a financial services supply chain, so let's say you're a financial advisor and you hook into various investment platforms that you use to support your clients, etc., then we would give you some idea of 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 the likelihood of things going wrong based on your profile from a sector point of view. And then finally, the platform is also able to give you an idea of exactly where the risks lie. So if you just go a little bit further down on the dashboard, as you can see, you'll see different risk types, number of, and we can then, if you've completed the assessment, then you would see exactly what level of risk there is against each of those categories and the likeliness of impact, etc., as well. And yeah, we're able to tell you other things like the financial impact over time. And I think there's one other there as well, John.
That's good.
So, and this is a kind of more demographic. We use some global data sets to evaluate the level of attack against the level that somebody is particularly concerned about from those same different kind of categories of potential risk.
No,
And yeah, so like I said, over time, if you regularly use the platform, you can quantify exactly what kind of improvements you're making because you can see the change from these quantifications, and you can then more readily see what the return on your investment is. For example, you've spent £1,000 on mitigating a particular risk, and it doesn't actually effectively reduce that risk. The next time you carry out an assessment, then you know that wasn't necessarily a very good spend of your money. but it also means that you can go to your board or your investors and you can say we need to do something about this because we could lose X amount of money or et cetera, et cetera. So it provides you with the ability to make those kinds of business cases to convince senior management or your bosses as to why you need to make a certain kind of investment.
Yeah, it means that it's not just an open-ended threat, that you're actually focusing down on the things that really matter and the things that are most risky to your business. No, it's a really good set of dashboards.
Sure.
Right. I will put next step and contact details at the back of the presentation. But
Yeah.
yeah, good to speak to you, Ilesh.
Yeah. Thanks, Ron. And yeah, we're happy to take people through it in more depth if they're interested.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks.
Cheers.